Okay guys, there's my coffee. Welcome to the next episode on how to be more creative. I invite you to grab some tea or coffee and let's begin. So guys, this is a topic that it's been discussed many times by many people, and I think it's time we kind of make it straightforward and just talk about it. Before we start, I want to now officially, as I remember, ask you to hit subscribe and hit that little bell button so you know when the next episode is coming from us, and hopefully you enjoy it. Let's get on with it. So guys, episode today is about how to be more creative. Now, in my experience, now almost 9 years of running NATALKA Design, running my own business, being around a lot of different people, creatives, corporates, amazing individuals, interesting people running big businesses and traveling and just being super wise, all sorts of kinds of people, I've learned that one thing I'll say, we are all creative. And I've always struggled with the whole, when people approached me or knew what I do, so let's say I run this visual company, how amazing does it sound? People would always say like, oh, but you're so creative, I could never do what you do, I can't draw for my life, like I'm useless. And I would think like, no, but that's not what creative is. Creative is not just that you draw or you sing well or you dance well or you, I don't know, take amazing photographs. It's not all connected with art. Creativity is so much more than that. So these are my top tips on how to be more creative, literally from today. Tip number 1. I mean, I might be a bit biased, but I will say this. Doodle something. And you might think like, oh, okay, you're saying that because you're in the visual space, you visualize a lot of things. No, it's not about that. At school, we were all, let's say, when we were kids and everything, we were all amazing at drawing. We were doing it. We weren't even thinking about it. Whether you were in love with drawing or not, you were just naturally doing it. You weren't asking your parent or yourself, is it okay that I'm drawing this elephant right now that has butterfly wings? No, you didn't. You were just going for it, naturally expressing yourself. And somehow, when we all get, older, we're all becoming adults, the art of doodling and actually drawing, that skill is literally gone. And it's quite sad because, well, at work, if you're not a designer or anyone like that, you're not going to be asked really to draw, will you, right? So that skill is just gone, and it's kind of that part of our brain is not utilized at all. And you would be surprised that, well, or not, that actually doodling is just something that we all naturally do. Sometimes when you're on a call, you doodle and you then notice that like, wow, I just doodled this crazy thing whilst I was on a call. When you actually are asked to draw with your kid, you surprise yourself that your drawing is better than you thought. The first thing I would say, go find a piece of paper, go into nature, go grab a coffee anywhere you want, or even a tablet, whatever you want to draw on, just start doodling. And I promise you will feel more relaxed. You will feel like your brain is going to a very different place, and it will make you happy. Even if you're not happy with the result or anything like that, it's not about the result. I'm not asking you to become a designer in day one. I'm just asking you to explore that skill. And yeah, so that's what I would leave you with. Anything you like, look at something, copy something, do it from your brain, I don't care, doodle. To be more creative, I feel like we need to let our body and our mind to have a certain space. So if we're stuck in one place and we're, I don't know, either sitting all day and working, or we're in the same house non-stop or anything like that, it's not really easy to be stimulated by different things around you. So a simple go for a walk can do wonders. And even if that means that you're just going for a walk and nothing happened to you, you would be surprised how just going for a walk and changing your environment can bring so many later on ideas to your head that you haven't thought about, and that could even come up next week whilst you're cooking. But just because you gave yourself a moment of stimulation, of being somewhere else, or of giving yourself a bit of a breather, just anywhere that you live, because I'm sure we all live in different places, go for a walk. It can be even 5-minute walk. You don't have to do anything. You can just have a walk and look at the world, or you can put a podcast, or you can put some music on, depending, whatever you like, whatever's your preference. Just go and change your environment. For a second even, it does wonders. It just does. Another thing that I would definitely highlight is something you might not expect from me, because if you know me well, I'm one of those people that always need to be doing something, and if I don't do something, I feel like I'm missing out on time and I'm like wasting time or something like that. But I will say that, and I will also practice that more with you guys as I say this, just embrace boredom. I know it's weird, but just embrace the fact that sometimes it's okay to have no willingness to do anything, to be just lazy for a bit, and just to have no kind of bigger thoughts or ideas or anything like that. Boredom is actually needed. I feel like I'm definitely underestimating its power. Sometimes actually when you're in this constant like task after task, I'm gonna take this off, your brain has literally no space to process any new ideas. And that is not a good thing, because you're not letting anything in. So boredom is actually good. And then when you're in that space, that might mean that suddenly you might just want to read a book, or you might just want to watch something interesting, or you might want to call your friend and discuss something that you maybe didn't think that would be possible to discuss, and suddenly a topic comes in that you're like, I haven't thought about it. Boredom is giving us headspace that we just don't give ourselves enough if we're in the busy zone. So as much as I'm a fan of being productive, having a to-do list, making sure that you use your time in a very proactive and engaging way, if you are into that, it definitely helps me. We're all different. Boredom is definitely an interesting space to be in, and it doesn't need to mean that you're like, nothing's happening, I don't know what to do with myself, I'm on my like next episode of something, I'm bored. Especially in this time, we can all feel a bit like, let's say, we need to kind of create our own activities, right? But giving your brain a bit of space, it's okay. Like literally it's okay, because then when you get into a different activity, suddenly the brain will be much more like ready. So embrace boredom, don't be scared of it. Next tip, make time for play. Now what do I mean by that as an adult? Let me sip my coffee because it's gonna be cold. Embrace play, and make time for it. And what I mean by that, when we're adults, I don't mean necessarily that you need to take out Lego and play all day, although that would be awesome. I love Lego. Who doesn't love Lego? Play can mean a lot of things for any of us. Play for me could mean dancing to my favorite song. It could mean starting to doodle, as just I said before. It could mean I'm going to play a board game with my friend or my family or my partner, or even if on my own, if that's the case. It can mean a lot of different things, but is there a space in your life where you can play a bit? And that is something that is so underrated in today's society. It's almost like you're allowed to play only if you have kids, because, well, they play, so you better get on with it and play with them. Or when you're in a very, let's say, set up place, so you're playing bingo in a pub, or a quiz, or there's a football game or something. That's like when you're allowed to play. I'm talking about here adding a bit more of that to your life. So is that really that you might want to build something out of Lego as an adult? Why not? I mean, amazing, something so different for your brain. Or do you want to try and sew something, let's say, or create a weird character that you're gonna, let's say, maybe draw or paint or anything like that? Can you find a way to play a bit more and just to embrace that child part of your brain that, again, in the past never thought about what is right or what is wrong? Definitely I would suggest to explore being more playful, whatever that means to you. I mean, put a crazy makeup, dress up, do something else with your friend, maybe do a play or something like that, maybe cut out something from magazines, maybe prepare a crazy recipe that you would never think that you would make and have fun with it. Just, the ideas are endless, but just go out and explore play. Another thing that it's so easy to and accessible these days, is almost nuts how easy it is to get new ideas and put yourself into a totally different mind frame. learn. Just learn some new skills, learn some new stuff. And then I don't mean here by you have to like literally come back next week and say, I learned Spanish, Natalia. No. I'm talking about anything, and that can come from watching a TED Talk, watching an amazing video on YouTube that will teach you some new thoughts and ideas and skills, or just look at things a bit differently. Listen to a podcast that you really, really love or are curious about. Get a Audible book. If you're, let's say, busy doing things with your kids or you're cooking or something, why not play a book in the background rather than, let's say, news all the time? Grab a book, something that we are all not doing enough, and we know that. I mean, I have a stack of amazing books and they're just lying there sadly and looking at me, which is very upsetting right now. But I will go back to them. Anything that you can learn, anything that you can hone in, I mean, online courses, there's loads of them. Live streaming on Instagram, there's so many things that you can try and learn yourself without literally leaving your house. It's nuts. Try and learn, and it doesn't have to have a goal that by this amount of time I'm gonna do this. It's more like I'm going to take a bit of that information, I'm going to take a bit of that information, and I'm just going to explore. And the creativity will be, let's say, fed. You don't even realize that, let's say, you're listening to something or learning something, it can manifest in a different way at some point in time. You don't even know. That might mean that you will have a more interesting thought when you discuss something with someone. That might mean that you will introduce something to the way you work one day and you didn't even notice. Or that might mean that you have a very interesting point by a table with your friends and you didn't even know you can say that, or you have a comment on that. So the creativity will be basically fed and will be nourished in a way if you let it. And last one, it's a bit connected with the go for a walk, but that was more change your environment and I just went with a walk. But I will say something that I think everyone has been saying before me: move. Move, whatever that freaking means to you, I don't care. Dance to your favorite song, go out for a run, do yoga, stretch, do, I don't know, 5-star jumps, whatever it is. And that's why I'm connecting. Go for a longest walk if you can. Anything to do with physical exercise and movement and making that heart pump a bit faster will so much help you with your focus, with your productivity, and that will feed again creativity, because that means that your brain got so much more space and so many more endorphins and so much more energy that, well, it needs to use it somewhere. And I find that when I go for a run or I go for a walk or I just stare at some nature and I can literally just be outside but just enjoy it, it gives me so much more energy, especially if I'm sitting all day and working in front of a computer or I'm drawing. It's just a lot. So move your bodies, guys, move them. So I hope this was useful. Please let me know in the comments below. I hope you had your coffee or tea. Now it's a bit cold, so that's not great, hey? But just let me know, what do you think? What are the ways you find yourself being more creative? What do you guys do to feed that creativity? Again, it doesn't have to be anything to do with art or whatnot. Just hopefully there's even one tip that you enjoy, one tip that is very easy and even today you can introduce, which is like doodling or going for a walk. But I would love to hear from you and hear what you think in that space. And once more, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you would like to see more of videos of that type, and we'll be putting so many more. And hit that bell button just so you don't miss another video. And I'm going to say that because everyone says that. So thank you so much again, guys. Have a lovely, lovely week, and I will see you soon.